What's up, guys? Damien and Anthony here, Full Auto Airsoft, and today we're going to talk about lipos versus the world. Different batteries, and let you take the floor, Cap.
All right, guys. First, we're going to start with your basic nickel metal hydride. Right here, we've got a 9.6. Here we've got your standard 8.4 that comes in most of those packages that you find all around for your airsoft guns. We just want to show you guys some of the differences between a lipo and a nickel metal hydride. Why you guys should run a lipo. There's this perception out there that lipos are very dangerous, that if you aren't super careful, they're going to explode in your gun, and, you know,
if you don't charge them right, your house is going to burn down.
Yeah, there's all these crazy things out there about
a bad
lipos.
credit score or something.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. But there's a few technical reasons why a lipo is better. We'll start with those. We don't want to get too in-depth with the technical stuff, but there's actually 350% more energy in this lipo cell compared to a nickel metal hydride cell. Also, inside the lipo battery, it's got less internal resistance. What that means is less heat and a more efficient discharge of the milliamperage and the voltage. What this means is a consistent discharge curve compared to a nickel metal hydride, where it's more of a slope from the top to the bottom. You're going to lose voltage as the battery starts to die. With a lipo, you're not going to experience any voltage loss until just before the battery's dead, which means your gun's going to perform the same until the battery dies. Big advantage. Obviously, guys, we wanted to step back and show you that a smart charger is your best bet for a nickel metal hydride.
Definitely.
In case you guys are still going to run a nickel metal hydride, I'm sure you've seen people have bad experiences, just like I have.
A lot of people don't realize that, you know, this little box right here versus the trickle charger that comes out of your actual the trickle charger that comes out of your, you know,
the package with something like this,
is that, you know, it's going to keep pumping juice into the battery. It's going to keep pumping juice to the battery as long as it's plugged into the wall. So something with a smart charger, it's actually going to turn red when you plug the battery in. It's going to turn green when the battery's ready to go. So whether you have a half charge, let's say you went to the field, you only played half the day, you went home early,
maybe
whatever.
Maybe you didn't shoot much.
Yeah, maybe you didn't shoot much. So you only have half a charge in the battery. You know, that smart charger is going to put the other half back on the actual battery itself. It's not going to be like a trickle charge where it's going to keep sending juice, and that's how you kill a lot of nickel metal hydrides.
Right. We've seen, you know, with those trickle chargers, we've seen bad things happen. If you forget to unplug it, you could run into some serious issues, just like you could run into issues with a lipo. So there are dangers as well with the nickel metal hydride. We feel, though, that the lipos have gotten a bad rap. There are more and more people using the lipo batteries in airsoft now, but we still think that there's still some type of resistance to everybody switching over to lipo. Sure, they cost a little bit more. Sure, you need a new charger. That's one other thing we wanted to make sure you guys knew too, is that if you are going to step into the world of lipo, make sure you get a balanced charger. Not just any lipo charger. You can't just use a nickel metal hydride smart charger or a trickle charger.
Even though the plugs for the Tamiyas are the same.
Right. You have to use the balance plug to charge your lipo batteries. This is going to keep the voltage between your cells, 2 cells, 3 cells, whatever type of battery you have, exactly the same. It's going to increase the lifespan of your lipo
and
battery.
the longevity.
Yeah, you know? Make sure you guys are using a balanced charger with your lipos. The biggest advantage in airsoft for running these lipos is, in my opinion, the size is one of the first things we want to look at. This 7.4 right here, they're gonna perform just like your standard 9.6 in most of your airsoft guns, but you're in a much smaller package. What are some guns?
So like your G36, your MP5s, you know, your P90s, you know, all types of, you know, unique guns. Even some of the F2000,
F2000,
you know,
or
has a very small
VFC buffer tubes.
Yeah, the VFC crane stocks. I personally run that, and you know, sometimes you can't fit, like, you know, certain batteries, and the space and the amount of power you're going to put out is just, you know, remarkable.
Right. So these batteries do tend to use up more of their milliamperage too, so they're going to last a bit longer out on the field in terms of number of shots. Obviously, the smaller package is something to look at. Now, we can talk about another thing too. Another advantage of the lipo is that you can step into an 11.1 volt battery. There are nickel metal hydrides out there that are 12 volts, but they're very large. You're looking at a large amount of cells. They're taking up a lot of space, and you're going to have to build your gun around that battery. The 11.1 volt lipos allow you to run a much higher voltage. Your gun's going to have a much higher rate of fire, much better response in semi-auto, with this 11.1 volt battery. There's a lot of companies out there that advertise their guns as 11 point LiPo ready. That, guys, refers just to the 11.1. Just because a gun doesn't say it's LiPo ready,
It still doesn't mean you can't use one of these 7.4s.
a 7.4 is not going to hurt any
the
guns.
7.4 is the same, is the equivalent to a 9.6.
They're going to perform almost exactly the same.
You're going to get a better power output with the LiPo.
Right.
You know what I mean? Your trigger response is going to improve a little bit. Your motor, the way that, even how the motor sounds is going to improve a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not going to have that
The
womp,
drag
womp.
to it.
Yeah.
And guys, there's things you can do to make your LiPo safe. You can look up a million videos out there of LiPos exploding. I'm going to tell you, I've seen it happen. Most of those videos are done on purpose. It's not an accident that these batteries explode. If you use the wrong charger, if you pump straight voltage into them with a smart charger or a trickle charger, they're going to blow up, guys. It's that simple. It's the way they work. If you charge them with a balance plug and a balance charger and do everything the right way, you're not going to have a problem. The one thing that you can run into with a LiPo is discharging them too low. If you run a cell down too low, below, I believe it's 2.7 volts per cell, you can damage the battery. They can start to swell. That would look something like this. This is a dangerous situation right here. We've fully discharged this battery, so we're not worried about it blowing up, but as you can see, the size difference right there.
You can actually, if you look flipping right here, you can see where, you can see where the Raptor picture is actually bowed out.
Yeah.
And that's not because it's a bad battery, guys. That's just because this battery, by the customer was charged incorrectly.
Right.
So
there are things you can run into. Discharging them too low, charging them wrong, you're going to run into swollen batteries. There are things we have that can negate this. Let's say you're shooting full auto, you hold that trigger down, you discharge the battery too low, now you killed your LiPo. We offer something like this. These things are out there, guys. It's a LiPo alarm. It's a very simple plug-and-play device. Plugs right into the balance plug of your LiPo battery.
for the most part, it fits in any buffer tube.
Yeah, this
any
isn't
stock,
this
you
isn't
know
going
what
to
I mean?
hinder your, this isn't going to take up that much space. The space you're saving with this and this compared to a nickel metal hydride, you should have plenty of room. So as you can see when I plug it in, green, 2-cell, 7.4 volt battery, no alarm, we're good. This is a good battery, ready to go, ready to use. Throw this in your gun, use it.
Now we're going to show you a battery that we got from another customer that, as you can see, it's not as puffy, but it still has a bad cell.
Right.
And it's not the battery. It's not the battery. It's just that it was charging correctly.
So just to show you guys how this alarm works.
So as you can hear, now it's going to start beeping. It's going to let you know, hey, I'm getting too low, or hey, this battery's bad, and it's going to let you know. Now, that battery is bad, so that's why it's beeping, but if you're playing, you're outside, and you're playing, you're running around, and you're shooting people, you're going to hear it start beeping, and that immediately lets you know, okay, stop shooting, take it out the guns, change the battery back in. Also remember that you can hear it, the other guy across the field can hear it.
Yeah, so there's a good chance you're going to pick up the pace on that battery
batteries.
swap. Yeah, which is never a bad thing to get faster in airsoft, right? The other thing, guys, is this LiPo guard bag. These are awesome bags. I've seen video of these used on purpose. They burst LiPos inside of them on purpose, and basically this will contain, I'd say, up to like 95% of the effects of a bursted LiPo. You guys can go on the YouTubes and the interwebs and find the videos of these LiPos bursting. Basically, I like to describe it as a flare and a smoke bomb in one. Sometimes the cells will all burst together. Sometimes they'll burst separately. So just be aware of that. It's usually about a 10-15 second process if it does happen.
But definitely, guys.
I've never seen it happen on the field.
Yeah.
That's one thing I definitely want to mention. I've never seen a LiPo blow up on the field. You throw your LiPo in here, you can store them in here, you can transport them in here, you can charge them in here, you can leave the wires hanging out. This is going to contain, like I said, about 95% of the effects. The smoke, the flares. It's not going to burn through your floor if that's where it is, or it's not going to set your car on fire if you're charging it into your car or something like that. Another option. So these things, they can negate those perceived dangers of running a LiPo battery in airsoft.
Another thing, too, Cap, and guys you should look at is when buying this battery, I've been to a couple of Milsim events, and a while back, 2011, I've seen somebody's gun, their stock catch on fire because of a LiPo. But that's not because the LiPo was bad or he drained it. It's because the way you put the LiPo in there, you got to be careful. You don't want to puncture these cells right here, because there are cells, and if you puncture the cells, you could cause, you can have your gun catch on fire.
Yeah.
Nobody would want that. You just dropped $400 into your baby, and now your baby's
and
on
it's
fire.
melting on
and it's
in
melting
the middle
on the
of
floor.
the field.
And the game keeps going.
Yeah.
The game doesn't stop.
The way these cells work, guys, is if you do breach this cell, as soon as that cell is breached, it's going to react with oxygen and it's going to start. So if you hear something, you drop your battery and you hear it. I mean, I've never seen someone drop a battery and it blow up. But if you start hearing a sizzling or something, step away. Get away from it as fast as possible. I'm not saying they're dangerous, guys. I've never seen this stuff happen on the field.
And these are extreme circumstances.
Extreme
we're saying
cases.
These are not like hey, I picked this battery up, I
And
dropped it,
it
my little
blew
niece
up.
dropped it, and it caught fire and burned my house down.
No, they're not that dangerous, guys. Just like anything, there's dangers to them if mishandled. Gasoline that you put in your car every day is very dangerous, but if you put it in your car the right way, nothing's going to happen, right? So keep these things in mind.
Gas prices are dangerous.
Very dangerous. Dangerous for your wallet. Make sure you guys are doing everything the correct way. The Lipo is going to open up a whole other world of power for your airsoft gun. It's going to allow you to enjoy your day, enjoy the sport more when you're out there, and that goes a long way. The cost isn't much different, guys. You're only looking at maybe 10 to 20 bucks more for a LiPo battery and a LiPo charger compared to a new nickel metal hydride and a new smart charger. The cost isn't that different, guys. You're looking at a lot better performance. So make sure if you're in the area, come down, check us out at 203 Kinderkamak Road, Emerson, New Jersey. If not, you can check us out at faairsoft.com on the interwebs. And make sure click that like button. All right, guys? I don't know where it is still. We still don't know. I don't know if it's here, if it's there, if Damien's got it down there somewhere.
My jacket doesn't have pockets.
And his jacket doesn't have pockets.
It could have been in there.
Is the like button in your non-pockets?
It might be in my non-pockets.
All right, guys. So come check out Damien's non-pockets. Find that like button, and we'll see you guys later.